What is up, guys? It is the Wannabe Heel back for the third edition of my podcast with none other than Thomas, also known as Anti Wrestling Fan or Yellow Wolf, whatever you want to call him. But we are back to destroy many things again. And
Yeah,
want to just jump right back in again. We got some good stuff that people want us to talk about. I
yeah.
personally would like to talk about a lot of the Money in the Bank and because I have some thoughts that I wasn't able to exactly type out on it, you know.
hmm
So I'd like to focus most of the show around that, but get to the other stuff as well. And I'm gonna give you the floor first.
Uh, I say we run down the Money in the Bank card, and what do you want to start with? That's the question.
I mean, starting, I think we should end the show with the Money in the Bank card. Whatever you want to do, though. The guest
Well,
is
I don't care.
okay. Why don't we just continue to talk about the TNA Knockouts division versus the WWE
Yep.
Women's Wrestling division? Done calling it the Divas division, the Women's Wrestling division.
That's another thing that pisses me off. The name of it,
Yeah,
like Divas Division.
it just makes it sound so not interesting. Like I don't know. Like when I pitched the idea of having the women's wrestlers, like Charlotte and Natalia and people of that variety versus the divas, which would be like Sasha Banks and Nikki and Brie. That and just have it in an all-out war. That'd make the divas or women's wrestling division as a whole more interesting.
For many reasons. First of all, because new talent equals new matches. Second of all, WWE is lacking a good faction right now. And how badass would it be if that one faction that would run WWE would be, women?
Right.
That would
Like
be awesome.
it'd be mind blowing. And if they didn't bobble the storyline completely, it'd be really compelling and probably it could get them some main events on Raw that hasn't been done since like Trish and Lita. I don't think if it has been, I wasn't paying attention because you know, um, it'd just be something nice to see.
I totally
And
agree. I mean, that's a good one. That's a good one. I want to ask you this one. If you would book a Divas match as the main event of Raw, which Divas would you let you know um have go up against each other? Shit.
mm, um, wow, that was a good one off the spot. I'd probably say Charlotte and hell, why not the four-way fatal match from one of the NXT pay-per-views? That match I feel was good. It'd be good enough to, main event a Raw.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, that
I'd actually go with probably Charlotte against Natalia.
that was what I was thinking too. But I think that the other match would produce more, be a
Yeah,
bit more
I
entertaining.
agree.
Yeah,
But Charlotte versus Natalia would be interesting as well because of the family background.
yeah. But
They could really play into that. I would
I,
really like to see that.
I think that would be a good rivalry down the line, Charlotte versus Natalia because of the family history.
Mm. But I don't
Um,
want all old timers running on Raw, thinking they can still go and trying to steal the shine from their daughters and stuff like that. I want that. I want Flair to come on and blade himself and have a match and shit.
but the thing with that rivalry is it end up with something stupid like a tag team match at WrestleMania with Natalia and Brett versus Charlotte and Rick, and
Oh Jesus.
that's it'd be just another way for them to destroy a storyline.
Exactly.
So
And I don't want to see Brett based off the fact. I still have hate towards him because he took the U.S. title off The Miz just to lose it after 1 week. I still hold a grudge.
Who did he even drop it to? I remember him winning it, but I don't remember who he dropped it to.
I don't remember either. That's the thing.
Yeah, that
Miz
makes it
had an
even
awesome
worse.
reign as U.S. champ for like 4 months or something, and then he just randomly tapped out to Brett.
Maybe it was one of those things where he didn't want to drop the title to someone. Like Stone Cold has done it before. He didn't want to drop the title to Triple H, so he lost it to Mick Foley to have Mick Foley lose it to Triple H.
Maybe. I don't know. But I don't think Miz is that type of guy.
No, I
I
don't
think.
either, but maybe it was that type of thing, just, once. But I don't think it's nothing he'd have a problem with.
Mhm.
That's one of the only things I could think of, though.
By the way, why in the blue hell is WWE wasting the Miz on Ryback and the Big Show?
I understand Ryback, but, like, I
He
don't know.
basically lost to the Big Show just to make Big Show look strong. Although we all know he's gonna lose anyways.
Hey, like I said, what was that match that he had against Reigns, where like the last man standing match? Everyone was like, "Oh, Reigns had an impressive showing," but I truly believe it made Big Show look stronger. Like he looked
I agree.
way more dominant than Reigns in the match. Reigns just, because of how strong Big Show looked, he had to turn the announce table on him and
Hmm.
trap him under there.
And
It
I still don't understand why Vince has such a huge crush on Reigns. I don't know what he sees in Reigns that he doesn't see in any of his other, talent. I don't get it.
maybe the same thing he saw with Orton, and the family history,
Yeah, I guess.
because
Or maybe because he looks presentable, and looks like one of those guys that you would like to have represent your company.
right,
But otherwise, I mean, you want to put the company on the shoulders of somebody that can actually carry it,
right.
match wise and character wise, and Cena was exactly that.
Yeah, and the thing that happened with Cena is because that I actually wanted to get back to that. You mentioned it before we started recording, but the reason that Cena was kind of forced upon us was because it was like, okay, Orton didn't work out, Batista didn't work out. We're running out of options here, so we gotta push someone into this main event picture that can hold it down until this the next generation comes on, and it just happened to be that Cena could, and I mean it worked out for the better with that one.
Yeah, I mean, imagine what would have happened if it was like Batista and not Cena.
We would be in the era of boring burying. Batista
Oh
has the
shit.
lowest pinfall rate ever, like out of any, not pinfall rate, but pinfall percentage.
Uh-huh.
So maybe even pinfall rate, but out of anyone to ever compete in the WWE over like a certain amount of matches, Batista has been pinned the least amount of times. Like,
Dear Lord. I'm actually glad that Cena is the man. And I really want him to have 17 titles or something just to piss people off because they're all crying if he gets more titles than Flair, I'll stop watching and shit. Like, do it anyways.
just stop
Cena
watching.
actually deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess outside of Triple H, if you could have one guy surpass the title reign,
It's Cena.
yeah,
Yeah, totally. I agree. And Triple H ain't gonna get no world title, although I would wish he would. That would be the most fucked up thing. Imagine that. If he would just book himself to win the world title.
I would be completely appalled, and I might actually stop watching for a while. That's one of the. I'm just tired of seeing him wrestle. Like, sure, he
Really?
can still carry a match or whatever, but it's just unnecessary. Like, just take your role as whatever COO or whatever you're doing and just stick to that. Because it was a bit different with Vince how he started wrestling. It was mostly because he wanted to, but never got the opportunity to because his dad wouldn't let him. you know?
Yeah, and it was basically just to propel Austin to even higher status.
Right. And I mean, even when he wrestled at WrestleMania, he never won. I think he's like 0 and 4 or 0 and 5.
Yeah, he would always, win unfair at pay-per-views and then get his ass kicked when it actually matters in
Right.
Mania.
Right. Like when he had God and Shawn versus him and Shane, the match in which God never tagged in, so Shawn just took
Yeah.
all the beating.
Sean had to do it on his own. Poor Sean.
One of my favorite segments ever is the one where they're in church and he's like praying and then he's like, "What the hell am I doing? I'm Vincent Kennedy McMahon." And then
I remember.
he
Oh shit. Oh no. I actually remember watching this and not understanding. I was too young, I think. I didn't understand a goddamn thing that was going on. I was like, so what is going on? Are they going to have God wrestle? Awesome. I always wanted to see him wrestle.
Oh man.
Dear Lord. I don't want to get into religion. Otherwise, this will be a 10-hour podcast.
Yeah, I'd like to refrain from religion also. It's kind of a touchy subject.
First of all, and second of all, I think my opinion on it would actually piss people off, to be quite honest.
Mine too, so I'm just gonna avoid it.
Hmm.
Um, the most I'll say is not a very strong believer in religion, but I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. That's
Right.
it.
Um, Back to wrestling though. That's what this podcast is about.
Oh, I
Uh,
forgot.
what about the
Oh shit.
drama on Instagram lately? Let's. I
I don't
mean,
understand the drama. I don't even know what exactly happened. I mean, what was the main reason that people started crying about?
I don't know. First, there was a lot of the shit going on with Mac.
Yeah,
With everybody attacking him, and uh, like I said, just he's not that bad of a person. He's a
yeah,
cool
he's
guy.
pretty chill.
Yeah, like I've talked to him through DMs sometimes, and I kind of came off sounding like the asshole at first, but once he realized that I was there to do absolutely no harm to him, he was really cool. I mean, I
Yeah,
asked him a question, he answered it. I said thanks, and without me even asking him for him to expand on it, he expanded on what I wanted to know, and it actually, really helped out.
yeah. I asked him about ROH because I'm not that big of an indie guy.
Right.
I asked him where to start and shit, and he gave me a long list of matches and pay-per-views I should watch that are really exciting. I was like, all right, he's not that bad. I mean, what the hell is everybody talking about? I guess the thing with Mac is people just like to hate on him. It has become the new cool thing to do, you know?
Right, and I'm not gonna say that I took my part in the joking, but it was once he blocked me, and I made a few jokes about him blocking me, and I took him down later on. He unblocked me. We've had no problem since. I mean,
Yeah, I actually make fun of Mac a couple of times myself, not on my page, but in our DMs for
right,
fun. But it's not meant, to insult him or anything. It's just for fun. And I
right,
think he gets the difference, guys that actually really despise him for whatever reason, and then guys who just, fuck around.
yeah. I mean, and plus, like people have said, I think it's more of the Macklin Burns isn't curbside hero type thing. Like it's a persona
Yeah.
that he does. So learn to separate the two. And then there was the all the fangirl fighting after all the stuff with Matt cleared up. There was just fangirl fandoms fighting everywhere, and I mean, and then there are pages that try to start something out of nothing, like
Yeah.
you know, uh, I don't even know. Like, I try to avoid all of it and just advocate peace, but there was that one
Mm,
page that popped up either like 2 weeks ago or a week ago where it was like, oh, all these pages suck, and they were posting pictures of, like the people that own the accounts, and it was really stupid.
yeah,
Like,
they always have to take it overboard, you know.
right, if you genuinely have a problem with someone and you hate seeing their, shit on your feed, just unfollow them.
Exactly. Unfollow them. Don't talk about him. Don't try to, sound cool by attacking him, although he's not able to see it or some shit.
Right,
Just just ignore it, you know? I mean, at
right.
the end of the day, Instagram isn't supposed to be the place where all the, little girls complain and cry about each other, he sucks, no, he sucks. Like, how old are we? Fucking 9 or something? What the hell?
Right. At the end of the day, it's, I'm here to have discussions about wrestling and maybe a few other unrelated things to wrestling, but I'm here to have discussions about them, and I just want to, talk about things that I enjoy watching or whatever without too much conflict. If I'm
Yeah,
feeling like I'm in the mood to piss people off, I'll post something that's provocative just to, see different opinions on it. And when I do that, I think people, they get a little bit confused. I'm doing it because I like to enjoy it. Like, I don't enjoy causing controversy. I enjoy seeing the flip side of things. And sometimes, if you don't say something provocatively enough, everyone will just agree with it, and no one will go, "Well, no, that's not completely right." Blah 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 blah. I like seeing the
yeah.
flip side of things because it makes me think differently. You know?
Yeah, I totally agree. I actually sometimes I post shit that I don't even agree with myself.
Right.
And I just know, like as soon as I'll post this, people will complain about it and there will be one guy I can be proud of that actually convinces me of something else.
Right.
And
That's what I look forward to, and it's gotten to the point where
exactly.
no one ever disagrees with me now because they just think that, I don't know. I guess they think that I'll like destroy them in arguments or something because I built a reputation of doing that at one time. But I mean, I'm not necessarily going to. I may go back and forth with you, but it's just because I'm trying to draw more out of you to, see your side of things.
Exactly. Like, prove me wrong. Like, give me good reasons why I'm wrong. Don't just say, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Tell me why I'm wrong. And who knows, you might be right.
Right. Like, if you're right, then more power to you. I'll completely, I'll back down and say you're right. But just,
Exactly.
debate with me. That's all I want.
Yeah. I fucking hate it when I post something and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna stir shit up with that, And I post it, and then the first couple of comments are, yeah, dude, totally. I totally agree. And I'm like, oh no. That's not why I posted it, man. Like, this was supposed to either piss you off or get you to tell me why I'm wrong at least. But you're doing exactly what I don't want, which is agreeing with every dumb thing I have to say. I say some fucked up shit. I don't even agree with myself most of the times.
Right.
Like, that's
Like,
fucked. I
I
don't
just
get
say
it.
shit just to say it. Like,
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe I think I'm gonna start posting about Ryder more and praising Ryder. See where that gets me. I know Steph will love it, but
You'll be her favorite of the squad.
honestly, I was starting to look back and think about things, and Ryder's not that bad. He's got some charisma.
Yeah, it's just fun to hate on him. That's
He's
the thing.
he's like a posable mid card guy. I mean, him and Ziggler could do some. I'm sure they could do some amazing things with Ryder being the face and Ziggler being heel.
Yeah,
They could probably pull off some great stuff. It'd be, refreshing, something that we haven't really seen. You know,
yeah. Because Ziggler has been still for like almost a year.
yeah. It's not like I've said before. It's not even necessarily that I hate Ziggler. I just don't like his fans, and I despise the fact that he's from Cleveland. Cleveland's
Oh,
like one of my least favorite places in the entire world. Ohio
why
in
that?
general. I it's a sports thing.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's a sports thing. Say no more. That's why I'm happy I'm from Switzerland. Nobody cares about Swiss cities. Like, I'm sure you don't even know any Swiss city.
um hold on. Uh Starts with a G. It was World War II. Genova, is it?
Geneva,
Geneva.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm big into geography, so I know a few places here and there and different, countries around the world, but um yeah, it's just all boils down to that like I don't it's weird though. I don't dislike Miz because he's from Ohio, but
Mm.
Ziggler, yeah,
Well, Miz actually, he makes up for it by being awesome and entertaining.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing.
You know what's
Um
another thing that I realized lately? Some guys have been commenting on my page saying, "Well, you only like the same like three guys." Well, dipshit, it's just like you. You have your favorites, don't you?
right.
And mine are Seth Rollins, The Miz, and Bo Dallas. When it comes to the current roster,
Right.
of
I've
course I'll hype them up. I try to be. When I leave one day Instagram, I want to be able to say that I got a couple of people, to be a fan of The Miz. That's my goal.
right. I mean, at the end of the day, if I get one person to see my way or someone makes me see their way, I feel accomplished,
Yeah.
you know. Um and I think I've gotten more people to see that Cena's not that bad as a whole. More people are coming to the conclusion that he's not that bad anyway. But
Mm.
I feel like I've gotten a few people to see that
Yeah,
he's not all that bad.
you and Heel Turn were the main ones that actually really always hyped up Cena and actually made people, want to like him and stuff like that.
Right.
I remember that. I've been following, most wrestling pages that I follow now, I've been following them when I actually had my private account. For example, you.
Yeah, and that's weird to think about because little little David just went, "Hey, it's August. I'm bored. I'm not doing anything. Won't be doing anything for the next year really outside of working. So think I'll just make a wrestling account. Just post some shitty memes that I made on Meme Gene on there, and that'll do it."
I did my account during a Raw commercial break. Like the Raw after the Royal Rumble this year.
Wow, that's weird. You and Nick made your accounts around the same time then. I think
Really?
his was like a few weeks before or like a week before the Royal Rumble or something.
No coincidence, man.
That's
The squad started building up and got ready for war.
um
Oh shit.
but yeah, my account wasn't really noticeable until I mean, like I said, the biggest account that followed me was WWE memes, but after that argument, I was pretty much just there until Heel Turn gave me a shout out one day.
Uh, I,
Yeah,
I got so hyped when he started to follow me.
like
I was like, oh shit, yes.
it wasn't even like I expected him to follow me. I had ranted about how people bitch about Cena all the time, and
Hmm.
then I think I saw that he was like, fuck it, I'm doing shout outs for shout outs. So I gave him one, not even expecting to get one back, and went to sleep. And when I woke up, I had like a mass wave of followers and like a bunch of comments on my pictures and shit. And then I went and
Mm.
saw that he gave me a shout out, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So, he gave me a shout out and got me followers, and then I looked and saw that he followed me too. And that was like the best day of my life. Like I was like, there's not shit that's gonna bring me down today.
Oh shit. Totally agree. When he started to follow me, I actually I shouted him out and he didn't even I don't even think he saw it or anything. And then like 2 days later I randomly got one like by him. I was like, alright, cool. And then he randomly started to follow me and comment on my pictures and I was like, I can leave now. I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, there's only like one more follow that I'm really, really hoping for, and that follow's gonna remain nameless. You know who it is, but
Yeah, I know who.
yeah, not gonna sound like I'm begging for it over a podcast or anything, because that's not the idea I want people to get. But
Don't worry, you're not the only one who wouldn't mind a follow. So,
since we're on the subject of Instagram accounts, who are your top five favorites, not including members of the squad?
top five favorites. All right. Number one, heel turn because he was the first wrestling account I started to follow.
Right.
Um, who else? Curbside. Um, I don't know. I kind of have a hate and love relationship with CM Punk universe. Sometimes I really agree with him and go like he knows what's up, and then the next post is like something I go like, what the hell is he talking about? How could he say that? But I guess, different people, different opinions,
Right.
and I kind of like that. And it
Right.
would probably be boring if he would say stuff that I would agree with all the time.
Yeah. It's what makes the best accounts the greatest.
Yeah. Who else? Wait, let me think. Uh, the Wrestling Classic.
Right.
Uh, for many reasons. First of all, because he feels like one of those accounts that actually knows his shit.
Yeah.
Not just one specific era or the current wrestling. He actually knows a little bit more and has a more extensive wrestling knowledge. And I like his pictures.
I like the fact that he's not just, he doesn't just like post and get off. Like he'll post and if you have a good enough comment, he'll converse with you. And, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, totally agree. Uh, wait, who else?
That was four, I think. Uh, yeah, that was four. So you got one
Hmm.
more.
One more. Wait, let me think. It's probably a tie between what's his name, Jordan Jamo,
Jordan Jomo.
and WWE Wonka, because
Okay.
I like his name.
Good reason. Um,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say my top five are Heel Turn, The Wrestling Classic, CM Punk Universe, uh, Jordan Jomo, and Steph McMahon.
Oh shit,
Really,
I forgot Hannah.
yeah, you forget Hannah, and I was gonna make sure that I didn't.
Oh no. See, that's why you're winning. Sorry, Hannah, if you're listening to this, I love you. You're awesome. Um, it was so obvious to me that Hannah was one of them that I didn't even mention her.
Right.
God damn it.
We're big
Good
fans of
job,
your account,
Thomas.
Hannah.
Thomas, you fucked up again.
um, shit. Let's show some writer appreciation, some more. I guess.
Yeah.
Did you catch NXT this week?
Yeah, I saw it like 2 days ago or something.
What do you think about the pairing of Mojo Rawley and Ryder?
I think it makes sense and it actually seems to be working out because, they are both kind of like fan favorites and
Right.
they seem like, fun and just happy to be there. So, I don't know, it's just rather have them be in a tag team than do nothing. That's my thing.
Right.
Who knows? This shit might work out, and they'd actually, who knows? They could possibly be the next great tag team.
Right,
Not, but who knows?
uh, I can't think of who it was. I think it was one of the members of the squad that said there aren't like those random tag teams anymore,
Hmm.
and they're kind of, they're like a random pairing. So it
Yeah,
just
but that's kind of cool. Just to pair a couple of people up because they don't have anything good going for them.
right. It gives them more opportunity. It gives them more
Exactly.
TV time.
It's just like Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil. I mean, who would have thought that would work out?
Yeah, it. I mean, it worked out for a very short time period, though. It wasn't like
Yeah, but it was awesome. You gotta agree on that.
I wasn't too big of a fan of it, but
I loved it. I loved it. Oh no, I actually like everything that Heath Slater is involved in. He's one of those guys that regardless of what he's doing, I pay attention. I like
right.
him.
So we don't stray too far away from it. Did you pay any attention to the Emma and Blue Pants match, or?
Yeah, wasn't it her birthday or something? And they were chanting "Happy Birthday."
Yeah, yeah, and like as I was watching the progression of the match, I've never even seen Blue Pants before. Like I'm not gonna lie, I watch NXT off and on, so
Me too.
this is the first time I've
We're
ever
in the
seen.
same boat.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen Blue Pants, and from the looks of it, it looks like they might build her up to be the ultimate jobber, and then randomly win a match like how what's Sean Waltman,
Uh,
yeah, like the 1 2 3 kid.
yeah, Mr. Mathies. Oh Jesus,
Yeah, it
X
looks like
Pac.
that's what they're doing with her, and I'm all for it because she seemed to have a lot of crowd support. Not that too
Hmm.
many people in NXT don't.
Yeah, it's actually kind of. Oh no, it seems easier to get over with the NXT crowd
Smaller,
than the main roster one because first of all
smaller
it's smaller,
demographic, smaller crowd.
and second of all it's just that specific type of fan
Right.
that
It's
actually knows a little bit about the business and kind of gets the things going on behind the scenes, or at least they think they do.
it's that type of fan that like they support a company and they support everyone in it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Like they wish the best for everyone,
Hmm.
and I mean, like, not that those type of fans aren't cool, but you gotta step back and realize that not everyone's a main event player. Not everyone can, you know, there are certain guys that are like made for certain positions. Like Reigns
Exactly.
is made for the main event picture, and though I don't like him and wish that he wasn't made for the main event picture, that's
He
just the way it
is.
is.
Yeah.
And I mean, Rollins and Ambrose are too,
Hmm.
but
Totally
guys like,
agree.
but guys like Ziggler's not a main event picture guy. He's a very, very solid mid card guy, and that's just the best
I
he can do.
agree.
He's already shown that he can't make it in the main event picture, and that's, you know, it's not a knock at him. Some guys just don't have what it takes. Not everybody can do it.
Exactly, first of all. And second of all, there needs to be a mid card, and there are some people who actually look forward, you know, more to the mid card than the actual main events.
Right,
And it's kind of interesting to have a guy like Ziggler in there
right.
because
You gotta,
he can put on a good match, although he's notorious for overselling. He's actually one of those guys I don't mind, seeing a match of. Depends on who he's going up against, of course.
right. And I poke a little bit more fun at Ziggler than I probably should because it makes people think that I don't like him at all. But is like I said earlier, it's not that I don't like him. It's his fans that I can't stand because they just think that he's some type of god.
Yeah, totally agree. He had his one shot, and then boom, concussion, done.
Right. And there's
I mean, if I would own the WWE and if I would see something like that, guys have been crying for Ziggler to be in the main event picture for so long, and then we actually give him the shot, and then he fucks it up. Of course, you're gonna be doomed mid card for life, but that's not a bad thing, in my opinion. It
right.
works out for him.
You gotta work with what you're given. So,
Exactly.
I mean, if you don't think you should be in the mid card, go out there and prove me upon more people like, the guys in the company. Go prove them wrong and show them that you do belong in the main event picture.
Don't just say you're gonna steal the show. Actually, do it.
Right. Like, if he ever has a match that is, not like a 6-man ladder match or some, where it's just him and one other guy, or like a triple threat match at most with, just no one expects it to be the best match on the card, and then it goes out and steals the show. I will be the first person to give Ziggler credit.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. I still think Ziggler would be one of those guys that would be fit to have an Iron Man match nowadays. I I wouldn't mind. Depends on who we would go up against. But there aren't a lot of guys left I would like to see for 60 minutes. Who knows? Ziggler might, tear shit up or fucking, be the worst match on the card.
The last Iron Man match was Cena and Orton, right? Or was there one
Yeah.
after that?
By the way, when was that match? 2010?
10, I think. I think it was 2010 bragging rights.
Ah, yeah, 2010. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it is. It's like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um, who would you like to see in an Iron Man match now?
ooh, um, I think that even though like we talked about earlier, Neville's really boring outside of the ring.
Hmm.
I think he has what it takes to scratch that. Owens and
Yeah,
Zayn, and
I could see that.
I think that would be a
I could
really,
definitely see that.
and not because it'd just be good wrestling. They'd be able to tell a really good story, and
Yep,
through the wrestling,
I
and
agree.
yeah, that'd be like a really really good match. I'd hope. I'd hope that it. No doubt, just from the build of it, it'd be like the most anticipated match on the card.
Hmm.
Not too much can make me forget about Cena being on the card, but that match might be able to.
Hmm. I agree. I like to see Rollins versus, I don't know, maybe Owens. That would be
Oh
interesting.
yeah, I forget about Rollins. I don't know how. That'd be Rollins versus anyone,
Yeah,
really.
there's a reason most people say he's the best thing that WWE has got to offer right now, in my opinion.
Uh, I don't know who I'd say it would be. WWE has a lot of talent to work with right now.
Yeah, the roster is pretty deep and filled with a bunch of guys that I could see, you know, being main event guys in the future.
Right. That actually reminded me of something that I wanted to talk about, but haven't been able to on my page because been busy doing shit as of late. But how people go, oh, this guy's being misused right now, or Shelton Benjamin was misused when he was in WWE. Um, like like I just said a bit ago, you can't use everybody correctly, or at least you can at the same time. Like
Hmm.
you know, like if you have the amount of talent that WWE has right now, like Ambrose, Rollins, Reigns, and all the guys in NXT, you got Neville and Owens on the main roster now. You can't use all of them right at the same time, because using all of them right at the same time would either mean that you'd have to split the WWE championship into like however many pieces of
Yeah,
guys there are, or they would all have to be in the title picture at once, which doesn't it just sounds like it's a bunch of confusion,
yeah,
never knowing
totally
what's
agree.
going on. All those guys are gonna get theirs, and the reason that Sheldon Benjamin didn't work out was because he's like Neville. He can wrestle really well, but personality wise, he was a flop. I love
Yeah,
Shelton Benjamin. He's one of my favorite ever, but he's He had all the wrestling ability and athleticism in the world, but it was really, really boring.
Yeah, I agree. Who was, in your opinion, the last guy to actually be able to really do both? Be a phenomenal athlete in the ring and then be somebody, that would get you invested in storylines.
That WWE dropped the ball with
Yeah,
Drew McIntyre.
good boy. Good boy. That's right. Drew McIntyre, I'm still so pissed at this that he didn't get, WWE champion or something at least
Right.
once.
That's the one time I feel like they dropped the ball with something that they had and missed. But what are you going to do? I mean, there's still
Yeah.
time for him. He's relatively young, so
Mm,
they could always just re sign him later on if he wants to come back. Um,
yeah.
and most guys do, you know.
Yeah. It's only a matter of, when and how they're gonna come back. I don't think that somebody can leave the WWE because, they got fired or some shit and never come back or some shit. To be honest, I would if Drew McIntyre would come back next year as the chosen one, I would cheer him just as much as I did, a couple of years ago.
Me too. I
Dear Lord.
like he's
Oh
one of the
shit.
few guys that I think they dropped the ball with that they could have they could have had. He could be it right now. It could be like Rollins versus McIntyre tonight. That's my thought on things.
Oh
You
shit.
know,
I can already imagine.
or like imagine if Barrett won, Money in the Bank, which he's not even eligible to tonight, and
Which is dumb as fuck.
right, and then somewhere down the line, McIntyre wins the title, and they have like a feud. Once Barrett cashes in, they have a huge rivalry over the title. That's just gold, and they kind of drop the ball on it. But like I said, there's always time in the future.
Mm, totally agree. You know, I'm kind of wondering, I want to hear your opinion on this. Who do you think could be one of the main guys to carry WWE for the next, I don't know, 10 years that people wouldn't believe could be one of those? Not like Rollins or Ambrose, but somebody people actually wouldn't think could carry it.
Um, uh, could it be like an attitude era thing where there's like multiple guys carrying it at different times, or so he doesn't have to carry it all 10 years, like clear cut,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
oh man, uh, I want to say Bray because he has like that. I feel like he could have that Undertaker thing where he's always around and always relevant, even though they're not making him right now. But
Hmm.
shit, maybe maybe Bo.
See, that's what I wanted to hear. Bo is only 25 years old. Dear Lord, like we will for sure have him for the next like 20 years. And imagine WWE actually, giving him the chance to do something major. Imagine it.
Right, like he makes that Bo leave. Like he could win the WWE title with that gimmick, and though people wouldn't take him seriously at first, if he made it like a more serious thing but still used it,
Hmm.
it it'd work out really well. Like he can draw heat pretty well. He's one of those guys like Rollins where I think he could get booed by the greater majority of the crowd, even like the crowd that realizes kayfabe is alive
Yeah,
or
I
dead.
agree.
You know, he could. Yeah, he's one of those guys, and he's kind of overlooked right now, but he's got youth on his side. So,
Hmm. First of all, and second of all, imagine those inspirational speeches that he would give as champion.
oh, those would be great.
Oh Jesus! Oh, I can already imagine it. If they don't do this, they're straight up dumb. I mean, I would pay money to fly from Switzerland to the U.S. just to hear one of those speeches.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be absolutely great. Um,
Wow.
let's let's do the dream match for Money in the Bank now. Like, the Dead or Alive dream match. I think that was a really good one. Thank you, Darian, for leaving that.
The squad strikes again.
um, I'll let you go first. Since you've asked me two really tough questions, I'll leave you with this one.
Um, well, one of those guys that I definitely would put in, that ladder match is Shawn Michaels.
Right?
Like, he for sure has a spot in it. Then, just me being me, Chris Jericho.
I'm gonna, like, stop you really quick right there and just say that we're gonna do 8 men instead of 6 or 7 or whatever they're doing tonight. 8,
Mhm.
because, So, Michaels, Jericho, continue.
Alright. I'm just gonna name the ones that would make me fucking cry in front of the TV if this match would actually happen. Michaels, Jericho, Bo, Rollins, Miz. So we're at 5.
Right?
Who else? Triple H.
Okay.
Uh, who else? Wait, let me think. Shit. Randy Orton, and I'm not talking current Randy Orton. I'm talking Legend Killer Randy Orton or Psychopath Orton.
Right.
And the last one, Cena.
Okay.
That would be mine.
Mine would have to be Jericho, because creator of the match.
Creator of everything.
Yeah, I forgot. Silly me forgetting that Jericho is the creator of everything.
He should be called God, not the other God.
So Jericho, McIntyre, Michaels, Cena, Rollins, this is Benjamin.
Yeah, Benjamin would be fucking tight. I agree.
Jeff Hardy, Edge, and man, CM Punk.
Ooh, I forgot Punk.
It was like a desperation pull right there. I was like, man, there's someone that I'm forgetting that I really, really love, but like hate currently.
You know who I forgot? I just realized.
Who would that be?
I forgot Edge.
Yeah, Edge. I feel like the way he cashed in, it started what Money in the Bank is now. If it wasn't cashed in that way, there wouldn't have been like all these matches for it.
And I don't think it would have been as important as it is if it wasn't for the cash-in of Edge being so awesome.
Right, and it wasn't even like like, oh man, this is a perfect opportunity. Like everyone's like, how every time the champ was hurt, everyone's like, oh man, this is a perfect opportunity for Rollins. It wasn't even like that. It was like, oh man, Cena just went through a tough match, and then all of a sudden McMahon came out and he's like, congratulations, you won, but Edge just decided to cash in, and everyone's like, what? Whoa.
Oh shit.
Didn't see that coming. Yeah, like no one was like, oh man, this is a perfect opportunity for. No one was thinking about it because, it was the first match, and no one. I feel like everyone kind of forgot about the fact that he even had the briefcase, even though he walked around with it forever.
I think they were so invested in the other storylines going on that they completely forgot, that it could have ended in another way, which it did in the end,
Right, and I think that they had also forgotten, like, because it wasn't like how it is kind of now, where even when Rob Van Dam won, where it was like he won and then he was kind of catapulted into the main event picture. Edge won and continued to do what he was doing. Like he stayed kind of in the mid card.
Yeah.
Until the cash in, and I just kind of wish they would do that again because I don't believe they've done it since. It's always been kind of like the champion. I mean, it makes sense for the champion to be more aware after the first time, but I feel like they should just keep a guy like in the mid card after winning if they were to, you know.
Mm.
Here's an interesting question, and it was something I think I don't remember who asked the question. It was like your favorite WWE or the Money in the Bank briefcase design. Who do you think would have the best design today? Like, who do you think your top three would be for that if they were to then
Uh,
design it differently?
I think a briefcase with the Bo Leave logo on it would look awesome. Um, oh no, wait, let me think. Shit. I could have imagined McIntyre. That would have looked cool.
Okay.
And who else? Uh, I don't know. I would have liked Cena won Money in the Bank, but he kept the generic red one.
Right.
I would have liked to see, his T-shirt logo or something
He'd
on
make
it.
a spinner Money in the Bank briefcase.
That would be so fucking badass.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
The contract spinning in the middle.
I'd say Barrett because he'd make it, like the King Barrett thing. He'd have
Yeah.
something along the lines of that. That'd look pretty cool. Um, this one may come as a surprise to some people, but R-Truth, I feel like, he'd have like the airbrush graffiti, like how he has on his pants.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd have that on the briefcase and it'd look kind of cool.
Yeah.
Or,
That would really look cool.
man, who's someone else that has some awesome shit going on with their, man, and think of a third person. Bray.
Imagine Shawn Michaels if the Money in the Bank, ladder match would have existed back then.
I'd say Bray would be the third one for me.
Bray?
Yeah. I don't know what I could imagine, but like just because of the character, it'd be
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool. And I feel like his cash in would be amazing too. Like it'd be like, the little thing where it shows him laughing or whatever, and the slight scream or whatever, and then he's just in the ring with
Mm-hmm.
the
That
vulnerable
would be
champion.
awesome.
There's so much they could do with Bray cashing in and shit, but he's just lost in the shuffle right now.
Mhm. And I think it would actually surprise people if he would win,
Right,
and be booked the same way he's been booked lately. People will probably forget, because he's
right,
not on TV regularly.
right. That
So imagine him coming out of nowhere. That would be
you're
fucking
just like,
awesome.
oh man, and the champion, they just went through such a hard fought match, and then all of a sudden that happens, and
Yeah.
he doesn't even make his entrance. He's just in the ring.
That already sounds fucking awesome.
We should
Oh
go.
shit.
We should go book for WWE.
Oh dear lord. We will we will book the same couple of guys to be, championship. We would say
Man,
Bo wins everything, Rollins wins everything, Cena wins everything. The other guys can go fuck off.
nah, I'd just have Cena like win the championship, then lose it to whoever wins Money in the Bank, and then win it back the next night so we can have 17, and then like, and then have him lose a few months later and never win another championship.
Oh shit, just to piss people off. That would be so awesome.
I just want him to get 17. I just want him to get it out of the way so people can stop bitching about it and just let it happen. And then, there'll be nothing anybody can do about it. And I don't know, maybe because, he's humble, good guy Cena, he doesn't want to pass Flair or whatever, but
Yeah, out
I
of
think he's,
respect, probably.
I think he's the one to pass Flair if it happens.
Of course, he's the one. I mean, who else would, first of all, win as many titles as Cena did and actually be deserving enough, to surpass Ric Flair?
Watch, it'll be that, the Samoan Cena, it'll be Roman Reigns because he doesn't typically seem to care about things like that.
Oh, Jesus.
At least that's how he's come across to me. He doesn't really care not about the business, but he doesn't like he wouldn't be humble enough to go, oh no, I'm about to break Ric Flair's record. I'll stop right here. He'd be like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, I'm gonna break Ric Flair's record. Cool.
You
And
just
not
you just made me realize that we're already hating Roman, although he hasn't won
yeah,
anything.
he hasn't even won like a singles title yet.
Yeah, and imagine if he'll be the next Cena, that constant main eventer.
Oh man, we
Oh,
are in
oh
for
no.
wow.
I'm
Um,
already getting a headache just thinking about it.
just reminded me that if I want to wrestle, that is who I'd have to go through. It'd have
Ah,
to be Reigns.
dear Lord. You probably win, one or two world titles if you're lucky.
Right.
But all the other times, Roman Reigns has retained. Ding, ding, ding. Woohoo!
I'd be that guy that people would be bitching about that I'm being used the wrong way.
Yeah, you would be the new Ziggler.
Oh man. Oh jeez. I hope that well, not even I hope. I still have that feeling that he might do what cousin Dwayne did and win a few championships and then go on to do other stuff. You know,
I pray for that. I hope so.
he could lead the Lions to a Super Bowl or something against, like he could play the Vikings twice a year since they cut him. And
Yeah.
he could be like, yeah, that's my vengeance. I led the Lions to a Super Bowl. Take that, Vikings.
or you know what? Having be Michael Bay's next bitch. As soon as Rock gets too old, like Rock could come up to Michael Bay and go, "Yo, Michael, I might not be able to act anymore, but I've got a family member who's been a wrestler himself, who's oozing with charisma, and is just ready to star in a movie." And he'd go, "Great, some explosions, and the movie is set."
Oh man, I was playing Cards Against Humanity yesterday, and that's funny because like I was
Oh,
playing Cards Against Humanity, and it was like, um, I think the card had something about like wrestling on it, and my response to it was a Michael Bay explosion, and I didn't win that round, and I was so mad. I was like, come on, that's perfect. Like, you guys don't even watch wrestling, so how would you know?
you're just noobs. You have no idea.
There's tons of
This was
Michael Bay
genius.
explosions in wrestling.
Exactly.
And then I pulled up the video of Vince McMahon in the when he blew up in the limo.
Yeah. I really thought he died when that happened.
I did too. I really thought he was dead until Chris Benoit actually.
Oh shit. If I look back at stuff that I used to watch, as a younger wrestling fan, I really believed everything.
Right.
Like I was so invested in it. But then, when actually an older friend of mine sat me down and told me, gave me that talk, that wrestling is fake.
Right.
Well, fake. It's choreographed violence, to be honest. But um, I I don't even I don't even remember how I reacted. I don't think I was shocked or anything. I actually probably got even more respect now than I had before, because now I can appreciate what it takes, to be able to entertain me.
Right. It was I think it was like a few weeks after I went to WrestleMania when everyone started going, "Oh yeah, wrestling's fake," and I kind of was like, "You guys don't know what you're talking about." And then I went and watched, and I was like, "Okay, now I can kind of see,
Hmm.
can kind of see some stuff where maybe maybe it could be fake." And then
That's the most fucked up part, when people try to convince you and you don't want to believe them, and then
right,
you tune in the next couple of days and you start recognizing things that you didn't before.
it wasn't
And then
even like that with me. It was like, okay, they were wrong. This stuff's still mostly real. There's a few. And then Vince McMahon's limo blew up, and then he was on Raw like 2 weeks later, and I was like, yeah, okay, they were right. This,
I
the,
started to pay more attention during the matches, and then I would see stuff, like the way they would move their arms or the way they would fall.
Right.
And then I would think in my head, like, did they do it intentionally so it didn't hurt and stuff like that? And then I tried to convince myself, like, no, 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 you're just talking shit. It's real as it gets.
Right.
It was so hard for me in the beginning. I was like, no, no, the love of my life, wrestling, is not fake, you motherfuckers. Stop talking shit about wrestling.
Right. I just, and when I fell out with it and just stopped watching for a while, when I came back, I had a completely new perspective and understanding and respect for it, and
Hmm.
it got even like more so when after I watched what I can't even think of the name of Punk's DVD right now. It's right
Best in
over.
the world.
Yeah, I think so. But I watched that, and then I was like, oh wow, I didn't realize all the stuff that some guys have to go through. Started to respect pretty much everyone on the roster, and
Hmm.
then I watched it. There was like an entire summer where I watched it almost every day. Like I watched
Yeah.
that DVD so much that uh, I can't do it now, but probably last year I could recite it word for word.
Yeah, me too. I went through that best in the world phase where I would just watch it every time I would get bored. I would just go like, all
Yeah.
right, CM Punk's documentary again. It really was awesome. It was one of those DVDs that I, didn't get bored of immediately.
Right.
So I really liked it.
Yeah, it was. I feel like I learned something new every time, even though I was watching the same thing over and over and paying
Hmm.
attention to it every time. I feel like I was learning new stuff every time. But
Yeah.
like if it wasn't something about him, it was like a new move or a new move name or just something.
Hmm. I don't know. I kind of wonder, and I wanted to ask you this. This was one of the questions that I actually thought about before the podcast.
Okay.
Um, and that is, was wrestling more fun for you when you were younger or now?
Oh, jeez. Um, as it like at this point, it was more fun when I was younger, only because of the fact that kayfabe was around and there was like the era that I watched, like the end of the Attitude Era, jumped right into the
Hmm.
Ruthless Aggression era, and there was like no slump in it. It stayed pretty much constant. But
Hmm.
I feel like by the end of this era, like watching and going to pay per views and different stuff, I'll have had way more fun at this age than as a kid.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm one of the only guys who actually likes both,
Right.
wrestling when I was a kid and now.
I appreciate them equally. I just had more fun as a kid. I feel like believing believing in kayfabe was a huge thing for me.
I agree. I actually, at the beginning, I didn't know how to deal with it, when I realized it was fake. But then it just made me love it even more.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I'm still the guy that gets super hyped about pay-per-views, regardless of them being built good or not.
Oh, me too, man. Like I wouldn't say that that Money in the Bank was built up huge, but um I'm still excited for it. Like I'm checking my phone every 10 seconds. Like what time is it? Is it getting too close to the pay-per-view? Do I,
Yeah. I
I'm
don't know, man.
it's just I'm always pumped about pay-per-views. I'm always pumped about Raw. Should be pumped about SmackDown, but like I haven't been able to watch it as of late because in this house for some reason basketball outweighs wrestling.
Hmm.
So like I may be watching Money in the Bank alone tonight because the finals are on, but it doesn't make a difference to me. I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah. I don't know. I was always the SmackDown kid. Every time, I would play, for example, SmackDown versus Raw with friends, and you would have the general manager mode that
Right.
they should bring back, those motherfuckers. Um, I was always SmackDown. Always. I loved SmackDown more, but lately the thing is, it has become better than it was a couple of months ago,
Right.
but there are still some things that really bug me. First of all, it's the theme song, and same with Raw. They both get on my nerves.
Oh,
I
jeez.
associate wrestling with, metal or some shit or hard rock
Right.
to get me pumped, to actually watch and
Right.
not some baby shit.
Yeah. Even one of my friends was saying that like he would associate wrestling with, because I was like, there was some type of weird, there's like some festival going on with a bunch of metal and hard rock at it, and just that type of music. And not to say that I personally am a fan of that type of music, but I was like, that's kind of weird that NXT is going to be there, like they're going to put
Mm.
on matches during the festival. And he was
Yeah,
like, well, that's the type of music I would associate it with. And he was like, outside of you, when I think of wrestling fans, I think of people that like that type of music.
yeah. Um, what was your favorite Raw team song that they had?
um Probably the one during the ruthless aggression era. The one that they used for like a really long time. I want to say from like 2002 till maybe 2007 or 8, till they started using
I
it.
think you're talking about Across the Nation.
Yeah, yeah, across the nation. I couldn't think of the name of it.
Yep. My favorite was The Beautiful People because I'm a Marilyn Manson fan.
That was SmackDown, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was Raw.
Was it Raw?
Yep, it was Raw, and then they started using Anthrax for the Attitude Era for the later
Right.
one, and then they went back to The Beautiful People, and then to another Anthrax song.
Uh, wow, didn't know that. I'd
Yeah,
only known it as the SmackDown theme,
yeah,
but that's my
they had it
favorite
for
SmackDown
SmackDown for a
theme.
while.
Yeah, that one's my favorite SmackDown theme, and my second one's like,
Rise Up.
I always refer to it as oh yeah, I forgot about Rise Up. My second one is like the one that they used during the Attitude Era, though, the one where it was just like a bunch of noises.
Ah,
Yeah,
I know which one. The one in
yeah,
the beginning,
yeah.
the fucked up one.
I love that one. It's like one of my favorite
Uh,
themes,
it's
whether it be
it's
for a
just some
wrestler or a
random
show.
noises like ooh 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 ooh
Yeah,
ooh 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 ooh.
yeah. My cousin always goes, I swear they're saying if it moves, roll around. And I'm like, how do you hear that? It's just a bunch of noises.
I still don't hear it.
But yeah, that's um Rise Up is one of my favorite too. I forgot about Rise Up.
Rise Up was fucking awesome. It would get me so hyped for SmackDown.
That was Drowning Pool, wasn't it?
Yep,
Yeah.
Drowning Pool.
They have like three songs that I feel like they have one song that everyone knows, and then there's like three for wrestling fans. But
I think you mean Bodies by Drowning Pool?
yeah, that's like everyone's like they have more songs than that. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
they do. You'd have to be a wrestling fan to know.
But I think it's the same with every fucking band, they're always known for like one or two songs.
Right. I,
So, for example, Nirvana smells like Teen Spirit.
One of my friends, or like not even friends, I work with him, but he's a cool guy, but not a friend or anything. But I mentioned "Smells Like Teen Spirit" the other day, and he's like, "That's not a My Chemical Romance song," and I just laughed at him. I didn't want to be mean, so I just laughed at him. I was like, "No,
I would
no."
have committed murder if somebody would have told me that.
I was so
Jesus.
surprised, and then when I played the song, he was like, "Oh, I heard this song before. I just didn't know the name of it or that it was
Yeah.
Nirvana."
It's the same with everyone. Every time I try to get people, into Nirvana, the first song I play, I tell them, I bet $10 that you know at least one Nirvana song, and then I play "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and they're like, the name doesn't say anything to me, and then as soon as that guitar riff starts,
Well,
they
yeah,
they, they start humming along.
I think it's because they're like, well, it "Smells Like Teen Spirit." That's it's not a part of the song or anything.
Yeah, it doesn't come up in the lyrics. That's why.
It's weird because like I think the video and everything, it's like you know, it's like a double meaning type thing. Like smells like Teen Spirit's a deodorant, and
Yeah.
like the video is shot in like a high school gymnasium, so like it smells like Teen Spirit in the gym. Like the either the deodorant or the fact that there are a bunch of high schoolers in the
Yeah.
in the '90s being all grungy and shit, so it smells like Teen Spirit in that side of things. But you ever get fun of for like made fun of for liking certain bands like because they're wrestling bands, not like because they're wrestling bands, but you like them because they've been used for a lot of wrestling related stuff, but some people consider them douche rock or anything like
Hmm.
that.
Yep.
I get
I
made
get
fun of
that
for
shit
liking
so many times.
I get made fun of for liking Breaking Benjamin because they're douche rock apparently, and I'm like, well, fuck you guys. They were like a big part of my childhood because of wrestling.
Yeah. For example, if I'm hanging out with non-wrestling fans, and I play some shit like, I don't know, The Rock's theme song or Stone Cold's,
Right.
they actually go like, oh, it's his theme song. All right. And then as soon as I start playing shit like This Fire Burns, which is by
Yeah.
Killswitch Engage,
Right.
they go like, what kind of shit is this? This is just some noise. Like, shut up. Listen to the song.
Right. It's not a bad song. I used to
It's
listen to that.
awesome.
I used to listen to that song like every morning before going to school because like it would wake me up somewhat.
Yeah, it gets you pumped.
Yeah, like I'd be tired of shit and then I'd play that and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to deal with people at school now. Not
Hmm.
exactly ready to go to school, but it'll help me deal with these fucks for 7 hours, 8 hours a day.
I would do that shit during school. Every time we had like a lunch break or something, I would put on my headphones and play Cult of Personality because I don't know, it just felt perfectly. You would walk around and then the song would be playing and you start walking in the rhythm of the song.
Yeah, with me, I couldn't do Cult of Personality because like I remember CM Punk's entire theme, so like or like his entire entrance. So
Hmm.
when I'd be like thinking about his entrance and at the certain, the part where he yells it's clobbering time, I'd probably start fucking yelling it's clobbering time.
Yeah,
And
or you
then,
turn around.
or
First you
yeah.
go to the back that says best in the world. Then you turn around and people look at you, like you're dumb. Like, what the hell are you doing?
And I'd honestly probably, that probably kept me from wearing CM Punk shirts to school too, because I had a few, but I never wore them. I'd
Mm.
always, the Daniel Bryan shirt where it says like yes and it's in the red box and it's like a gray shirt or whatever and it has his face on it.
Yeah, I know which one.
Yeah, everyone would always ask me if that was Jesus. They're like, is that Jesus on your shirt? And I'm like, no.
Should have said yes. This is Jesus saying yes to me being born. That's it.
Everyone, like, and then this one teacher would ask every time, and I'm like, no, it's Daniel Bryan, and he's like, who's that? A wrestler. So like The Rock, yes, like The Rock, and he's like, I watched back in the days of Hogan and Andre, and I was like, yeah, I know because everyone kind of watched wrestling at one point, but most people fell off with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Isn't that weird to think about? Like wrestling used to be a really really cool thing that most people watched, but like now it's like you're looked at as some type of weird fucking freak for it.
Yeah. Wrestling used to be like twerking is fucking now. It used to be the shit. The fucking thing to watch. I don't understand why so many people either grew out of it or started thinking shit is dumb. I don't understand it. I've always been that kid that watched wrestling with the others, and they would stop watching, and I'd still be the guy talking about wrestling in front of them. Then they would go like, "Dude, we stopped watching 4 years ago. Stop talking about CM Punk or Jericho. All right, I'm sorry.
Right, like it even got to the point with me that I made my friends that never really watched wrestling watch the CM Punk DVD. I was like, "You're not getting out of this. You're gonna watch it."
Yeah, I'm forcing you to watch some wrestling shit. I do the same. I do the exact same. My mom grew up watching wrestling because my grandma is probably the biggest wrestling fan I know,
Right.
and my grandmother told me she felt like a failure when my mother told her that she didn't like wrestling. So as soon as I was born, I don't remember any of that, but she would force me to watch old Raws or old pay-per-views, and I don't know why. She was always the person that would force my mother, with me together. Like, so we're gonna call mom into the room, and then we're gonna tell her she's not gonna get out unless she watches a whole pay-per-view. All right. All right, good. And then we picked the most fucking violent matches, for her to watch.
That's fucking great.
Yeah,
With me, I've been watching like as long as I can possibly remember from the moment I can remember shit. I can remember wrestling.
me
Like
too.
my uncles watched from when they were kids, and my mom watched too, like off and on. But she knows like enough, you know.
Hmm.
And then I was born during the Attitude Era, so I was watching the Attitude Era before I even knew what wrestling was, and by the time I did know, I was already hooked because I'd been watching it since I was like two, not even two. Been watching it like, you know, I'm sure I heard it while I was in the womb. Like, this shit's
Yep.
awesome. I need to get out of here to see what it is.
This theme song sounds fucking awesome. Get me out of here right now. Oh shit. It's the exact same with me, to be honest. I mean, since I can remember, wrestling has been, around,
Right.
mainly because of my grandmother. And I still remember watching my first live Raw, and I will never forget it. It was, after the Rumble 2002. I'll never forget it. Chris Jericho's promo after he retained the Undisputed title against The Rock. Of course, unfair. Um, and I don't know what it was. I didn't even understand English back then, you know?
Right.
But the way he talked and the way he showed the fans the belt, and then, when they tried to touch it, he pulled them away and then kissed them himself and just pose, and people would boo the shit out of him. I just knew, like, I love wrestling. Like, this is the man. Whoever this guy is, he's my favorite, and still didn't change. Still Jericho.
Right. Like, I can't remember what my first live Raw was, because uh, actually one of the first things I remember from wrestling isn't even WWE related. It was WCW, and it was I think it was when around the time that Hogan and the rest of the NWO was like mocking Sting and wanting him to come back or whatever, so they could kick his ass. I don't remember specifics. All I know is like Sting dropped down and started beating everyone's ass with a baseball bat, and it really caught my
Ah, when
attention.
he went down the rafters.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he dropped down from the rafters and started beating everyone's ass with a baseball bat. That's all I remember, but
Wasn't that
that's
like 96 or something?
I don't know, but it's one of my first wrestling related memories. I'm sure he did it more than once. So
Mm. I'm still kind of mad that my mom decided to be a mother so late. I was born in 96, November of 96. And I feel like as soon as I actually, started remembering shit
right.
and was already, the time passed to see the fucking cool shit in the Attitude Era. I don't know.
Yeah, my mom decided to be a mom kind of early, so I was born in '96 also.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah, so I mean,
By the way, my grandmother, I'll never forget this. She kicked my ass once just for liking the wrong person.
wow.
I'll I'll never forget. She sat me down and forced me to watch a Raw of like '97 or something.
Right.
And she even told me that story like a year ago, and she just gave me one thing to do. Tell me who was your favorite at the end of Raw, and she had two favorite wrestlers. If you would talk shit about Undertaker or Bret Hart somewhere around her, she would throw you out of the house. Like, no joke. And then my dumbass decided to like Shawn Michaels.
Oh wow. Yeah, great decisions right there.
Genius. Genius, Thomas. You pulled it off. She
Oh
hated me.
man,
I would think she didn't talk to me for like a week straight, probably.
that's crazy. Um,
That's fun.
my uncles just kind of let me like who I like, you know,
Hmm.
and they'd always, they'd just let me think what I wanted to think because I was a kid, and they didn't want to
Yeah.
ruin, they didn't want to ruin wrestling for me. So, um, they'd be like, oh, like at WrestleMania 22, Orton was supposed to win the title,
Hmm.
and my uncle knew that, like he had read it somewhere, but little ass kid David was like, oh no, Rey Mysterio's gonna win, through the power of Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio's gonna win because Eddie just died recently, and that's gonna inspire Rey to win this match. And my uncle's like, nah, no, but we'll let you think that, but no, it's not gonna happen. And then he won, and I was like, I told you, haha, I told you. And they're like, he waited to explain it later on, but he was like, yeah, I read that Randy was gonna win, and he was supposed to, but he tore up a hotel room like the day of WrestleMania, so they decided to let Ray win.
Yeah, good job, Randy.
Randy does a bunch of stupid shit though. I mean, he's
And
calmed down, but
he hasn't been fired, like years before, basically because they knew they would regret it later on.
right.
He's one of those guys that they couldn't, fire.
Old Randall.
Um, I actually, I actually heard that Randy was the guy that was supposed to snap the streak.
I heard that it was supposed to be Randy. I heard it was supposed to be Kane. I've heard Ted DiBiase, but he kept getting hurt, so they went a different way with that. I heard that if Undertaker prolonged it for another year, they were just gonna have Cena do it.
Imagine that! I just broke the streak. Rapido.
Or I mean, not even from his end. Everybody just kept declining to do it. Like Kane said, it wouldn't have been fair to the fans.
Yeah.
Orton didn't want to do it. Nobody wanted to be the guy to break the streak. And I guess in that sense, who better than Lesnar? Because the way it's built Lesnar in
Mm.
the few years after, it makes sense.
If you think about it, Rollins' title victory is fucking important because look at the way they built Brock
Right.
and
For an
what
entire
kind of
year, he was
champion he was.
built like some unstoppable, incredible beast, and then Rollins sneaks in there and takes the title from him.
Yeah, it was genius. First of all, kudos to WWE for Rollins being the one to actually, turn heel in the first place.
Right.
And then I didn't expect him at all to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then he
No
did.
way. Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, for sure he's gonna cash in when Brock loses the belt to someone, right?
Right.
And then he won it at Mania. I was like, oh shit. I mean, people like us call ourselves smart fans, but I didn't even expect that shit, and I was super hyped for that.
I halfway expected it at Mania because it was the 10 year. It's been 10 years since the Money in the Bank was introduced, and it was like you know, it was introduced at Mania, so
Hmm.
I halfway expected it, but I expected it like um, how Heyman said that once Brock was done with the title, that Rollins could have it. I expected like Reigns picks up the victory and then Lesnar F5s him and then Rollins cashes in or something. But I
That's
didn't
what I
expect him to
thought.
cash in during the match. Yeah,
That would have been the only way I would have seen it coming. I was like, all right, if Reigns wins, Rollins will cash in, otherwise, hell no. And I was sitting here with the girl that lives next door to me, who, by the
Right.
way, I broke her nose when I tried to 619 her once.
Breaking
And
noses, breaking jaws, dude. You.
I, I was actually one of those guys that wrestled safe, so calm down. There was much worse people wrestling with us. One of my friends almost broke my neck, so
Hey,
I guess
you could have
I'll
competed in the Olympics and won a gold medal with a broken friggin' neck.
yep. Oh shit! But I remember sitting. Her name is Jessica. She's probably excited if I mention her. She was sitting next to me, and she goes, "Rollins will cash in." I was like, "You're out of your ever-loving mind. He'll only cash in if Reigns wins." And then she bet money with me. I was like, "Sure, I'll take that bet." And then as soon as I heard Rollins' music, I was like, "Fuck you, fuck you." She was like, "I told you." And then I started standing up because I got fucking hyped for Rollins, and I was 10 minutes just raising my arms when he won, just standing there like, "Yep." As if I won the title. Yup, that just happened. I'm more than proud. Hey, who liked my picture?
Me.
Woohoo!
Oh man, that's I think we've touched on like everything that people wanted us to talk about.
Yeah,
So,
I think so.
outside of the Money in the Bank predictions, but oh yeah, we didn't talk about the destroying of fangirls and fanboys by the Squad. That
Oh,
is,
Jesus.
I don't really know what to. I mean, it's just our job, isn't it? It's kind of what we do.
Yeah, we are notorious for it now, so.
I'm here to, kick ass and chew bubblegum, converse about wrestling, and uh, destroy fanboys and fangirls and bandwagon fans, but those don't seem to be around as of late.
Mm, oh, dear Lord. Imagine if Ambrose does win tonight.
Oh man, it'll be one of the most annoying. I might just go to sleep after. Like, not to say that I don't like Ambrose and don't enjoy him. I'm a fan of Ambrose, but his fangirls are just another completely separate entity. I can't fucking talk. They're just completely separate, and they annoy the shit out of me. So Instagram's just gonna be like a wasteland of excited crying girls posting
Yeah.
pictures of themselves being happy after, and I just don't want to see that. So I'm just gonna go to sleep.
Is even someone from the squad rooting for Ambrose, except for Steph, of course?
I would imagine that. I don't know. I mean, I am. I don't know about Kendall or Darian. I'd imagine. I think that Nick is rooting for Seth though.
I'm rooting for Seth.
I don't care who wins. I
I
mean,
actually care. I'll get fucking pissed if Rollins loses tonight.
I prefer Seth over Dean, but either way it goes, I mean, it's all just in the grand scheme of things for Reigns to win the title and keep it forever anyway.
Which is the depressing part of it.
Oh man, imagine if he breaks like CM Punk's 434-day modern era reign.
Hey, please don't give WWE any ideas.
Oh geez, that'd be terrible. Like, I don't know if I can take 434 days of boring promos and Superman punches. Unless he.
We already had one title reign that lasted 434 days. That was basically just a mid card reign. I don't want to be I don't want to be the guy watching Roman come out each and every single week on Raw and cutting promos about winning
And
and doing it for the
justice.
fans and justice and all about just us. I'll never forget that. He said it in a Royal Rumble commercial, and I literally stopped the commercial and went to bed. Swear to fucking God.
Oh, that's hilarious. I had Oh man, Reigns is just garbage. Like I
Straight up.
he all he has to, I mean, when they asked him about his limited move set, he said that like he doesn't do things to just do them. He does like what he knows will get the crowd excited, so he just does a few big moves and that's his entire move set. But it's boring. It's like I said earlier, it's like with Neville or the Usos, you're just watching the same match over and over again, no matter who they're facing.
Yeah. I mean, people bash Cena for having, not a lot of moves, but I remember more than 50 matches, that were awesome, that involved Cena.
People forget that like a few years ago, not even like a few, like let's say 8 years ago, 2007, Cena had the bulldog that he would do all the time. He did the throwback, which was like the neck breaker, where he'd jump over your back and grab your head and like, he'd like do that. It was like it was. I know it by name. And then he had the spin out power bomb. He had the five knuckle shuffle. He had the STF or the STFU. He had the attitude adjustment. FU. He had the leg drop that he was doing all the time until Batista nearly broke his neck. And that's when they started to limit his moves. After that match where Batista, who isn't exactly the safest worker in the world, uh, didn't catch him right for the Batista bomb and dropped him straight on his neck. Isn't it weird how like a bunch of the top guys for WWE end up having neck or back problems?
Yeah.
Stone Cold ended up having
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. I mean, then
Almost
there was
all of them. Do you remember one main event guy that didn't, at least break his neck or have some severe injury?
Edge had a pretty bad neck injury. Triple
Cena
H
was
had
fucked
Triple H had the quad injury. Cena tore his
twice.
pec off of his shoulder,
Yep.
um, which I think was I can't remember who was in a match with. They kept saying it was Orton that did it, but I think it was like a match against Ken Kennedy or something. I could be wrong
Probably.
because he could have been gone by that time because Orton pretty much ran to Vince after a match and went, "He hurt me, fire him," and that's what happened.
Orton is notorious for hurting himself.
Yeah, but like that's probably why they're never gonna get King Kennedy back or Ken Anderson now.
Mm.
And I would have liked to have seen what he would have been able to do with the Money in the Bank briefcase because
Yep.
his build was like they were building the shit out of him when because like every
He
week
dominated SmackDown. He
JBL would
was
be
the
like, "Oh, he's
guy.
already beaten like 5 or 6, whatever the number was,
Former
champions."
world champions.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, his build was amazing, and I didn't see it at the time. Like I was at WrestleMania 23. I've
Hmm.
said that on multiple occasions, but when he won Money in the Bank, I was like, really? Out of all the people that could have won, Ken Kennedy wins? What? Like what? What is this? What are they thinking about? Like I would have preferred Edge, who I hated at the time, because kayfabe.
Yep.
But yeah, King Kennedy didn't make a lot of sense to me. But now looking back on it, with the build that he was, getting the push he was receiving, it would have made a bunch of sense.
Would have.
And I think that was like I'm hoping that was when you could have cashed in on whatever champion you wanted. Still, didn't Punk do that? He like cashed in on a champion that wasn't even on his show, or was that? No, I think
I
he just
think it,
cashed in on Edge on Raw because like I don't remember if he was on Raw at the time or not though.
he was on Raw when he cashed in on Cena.
He cashed in on no, like when I think it was like Batista beat the shit out of Edge and then Punk
Ah,
came out and
you're
cashed in.
talking Punk.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if
Um,
Punk was on Raw
didn't
or
he go to
SmackDown at the time.
SmackDown later?
I think he went to SmackDown after winning the championship because they didn't want two titles on the
Ah,
same show.
yeah. He won the title and then he went to SmackDown and had that feud with Hardy,
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what happened. And then he had the Straight Edge Society and all that.
which was awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Looking back on it, it really was. But at the time, I was kind of like, eh. Like, I don't know. Punk caught my attention in ECW when they were doing the ECW thing, and he won the championship, and he was like part of the new breed or whatever. And I was like, he's gonna turn his back on the new breed pretty quickly. And then I didn't watch for a few weeks, and when I started watching again, he was like, he had turned down the new breed or whatever, and he had caught my attention at that point. But after what that, he kind of faded into obscurity for me. And like I said, I started liking him like a few weeks before the pipe bomb. That's when I
Mm.
really started paying attention to him.
I started liking him when I saw him live in Zurich, Switzerland. I was the only guy out of 18,000 people that wasn't booing him out of the building. And I actually had a CM Punk sign, and he came out with the Straight Edge Society, and he ripped up my sign and threw it at me.
Wow. You've had more Punk interaction than I have. All I did was when when Jericho had him do like the all the tests to see if he was drunk, like when he
the field sobriety tests.
yeah, like when he was like do the alphabet backwards or whatever, he fucked up at like he fucked up really early, so I started chanting "you fucked up" at him, and then he did it again, like he mixed up two letters again, so
Yeah.
I started chanting at him. But that's the most interaction with Punk I've had. I mean, there are guys like uh, John Cena and Triple H, which I've actually, well, wouldn't exactly say that I met Triple H, but I stuck my hand out for a handshake, and he looked at me and then stuck his hand out and pulled it back and slicked his fucking hair, which I still have a bit of a problem with.
Well, we can be happy now. The hair is gone.
He wasn't even like a heel at the time. He was out injured, and it was like the DX. It was the second quad injury when him and Sean were uh, at I can't even think of what I was gonna say. Oops. When him and Sean reformed DX, and he was like trying to break out of a submission or something and tore his quad or whatever happened.
Yeah, I think I remember.
Yeah, I heard that he was supposed to. It wasn't supposed to be Sean versus Cena at that Mania. It was supposed to be Triple H versus Cena, and Triple H was supposed to win. And
Isn't Triple H one of those guys that has one of the worst track records at WrestleMania?
I don't know. All I know is like he's known for last minute changing his mind about shit at WrestleMania.
And he's known for tapping out at Mania.
How many times has he?
I think twice.
He did he not tap out to the
Against Cena.
STF? Okay, he did. Yeah, to Bryan and to Vacant also.
Wait. Um, Benoit, Bryan, Cena. Is that all of them?
Yeah,
Dear Lord, he tapped out 3 times.
yeah, he's got that. I mean, but like Cena had beaten him at the WrestleMania before. He had beat him at 22, so I don't think he was gonna beat him at 23 also.
Hmm.
And even at WrestleMania 24, when he was in the match, and we could have gotten Cena versus Orton at WrestleMania, which we still haven't, because
Hmm.
Triple H inserted himself into the match. He pedigreed Cena, and then Orton pinned him off the pedigree. He couldn't even hit him with the RKO to pin him.
Hmm. I just
Triple H
realized
does
that
some.
this is kind of fucking weird. Like, every era had, like, that one feud that people remember. And, for example, Hogan versus, I don't know, Ultimate Warrior or something.
Right.
Rock versus Austin, Bret versus Shawn, and stuff like that. And they all had their match at Mania, but Cena and Orton didn't.
Right. And that's like the biggest rivalry out of that era that we're gonna get, and we still haven't gotten the WrestleMania match for it.
Yeah, kind of weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. and it kind of disappoints me. I really want to see that match. Like I'm counting on it one of these years.
Yeah, I'm actually one of those guys that isn't bored to see Cena versus Orton for, I don't know,
The
the next
500th
50
time.
times.
Yeah, people always complain. They're like, "Oh man, why are we getting this match again?" You know,
Because it's awesome. That's why.
because you're entertained whether you want to admit it or not. You get out of your seat and you know,
Yeah,
even if the match is bad, it's not like the worst match on the card
of course
because
it
they
is. And
just
I mean, probably anything involving Cena or Orton, I don't think is going to be the worst thing on the card. Or
no.
at least I don't remember anything that involved those two being fucking bad.
Right. Nothing's been like, oh man, I'm gonna go take a nap. Cena's on my TV, and that's not just me being a Cena fanboy because I mean everyone has bad, boring matches from time to time, but I can't recall anything that Cena's had that's been that, you know, that atrocious. That
Yeah.
um, I'm trying to maybe that one match that they had to unify the titles. That
All
match was
right.
kind of
That
bad.
that's the exception.
Yeah,
That's the
that
one
match
that
was pretty
wasn't up to
bad.
par.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I mean,
Yeah, the rest of their matches have been, if not really decent, they've been really good.
hmm
Um, while while we're on the topic of Cena, um, boy, I mean not directly related to Cena or whatever, but the Bellas. Let's talk about the Bellas and how much they suck.
fuck 'em.
I mean, like I said a few days ago, the most interesting thing they can do is leave the company. Like that's the most entertaining thing they can do, in my opinion. No matter what they do, no matter how good they get at wrestling, because Nikki's gotten better at wrestling,
Mm.
they're just so boring. They're bland and like
And they annoy the shit out of me.
when Brie yells Brie mode, I want to
Oh.
chop my fucking fingers off and
And I
die.
hated the fucking theme song that she had.
Does she is she back to just using Nikki's again?
Yeah,
Oh,
like the
thank
usual
goodness.
Bella theme song.
Thank goodness, because yeah, the Brie mode theme song. Oh
Uh,
man, it was just also bad, also terrible.
mm. I
Um,
fucking hate everything about the Bellas. I don't think that there's anything that could make me like them.
no, I don't even find them attractive. On top of that, like people are like, well, at least they're hot. I don't even think they are.
Yep.
Like they,
I thank God I'm not the only one on this one. They're not even that good looking. They're decent,
right,
but they aren't as hot as everybody says they are.
right, and I mean they're like, oh, Nikki's kind of got an ass or whatever, but no, that's not even. I mean, she has plastically implanted boobs or whatever, but her
Mm.
ass is still as flat as it was when she didn't have those boobs.
Yeah. Hell, I mean, even Alicia Fox looks better to me. I think Alicia Fox is cute.
I do too. Yeah, I think like I can't think of anyone on the roster, like even in NXT that. I mean, they got Bailey beat, but that's about it.
Well, I like Paige, but that's about it.
Well, I'm saying they got they got almost no one on the diva. They look almost better than no one to me.
Yeah.
You know,
Bailey
um,
just has a big head.
her face looks kind of weird though. Like from some angles, it looks. Summer Rae actually, they look better than Summer Rae to me, and that's because sometimes Summer Rae looks like a Muppet, in my opinion.
Did you see Summer Rae on 2K15?
No. Oh yeah, yeah, I have, and
Jesus, I got scared. Talk about scary. Linda Blair ain't got shit on Summer Rae. I was like, what the hell is this? I tried to play as Fandango with Summer Rae as my manager, you know, and then I just saw Summer Rae come out and clap, and I was like, oh no, what the hell is this on my screen?
Yeah, it looks absolutely hideous. Like,
Yeah,
oh god.
dear Lord.
Hey, I just hit 3,000.
Woohoo! Congrats!
4 minutes ago. And Jesus Henry Christ, 17. Jesus Henry Christ. Not, I don't know. Whatever it
So
is.
Jesus follows you?
I guess so. He must have heard this podcast ahead of time and
Yeah, and then he's gonna listen to it and
yeah.
afterwards he's gonna go like, why? I thought we were friends.
You mentioned me about when you were talking about Daniel Bryan, the shirt design.
My beard isn't that hideous.
Oh man. He should come back beardless and, like I said, have that angle where he's an abusive husband.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I remember now.
Oh, that'd be so, like,
It was so fucking funny the
I
way
thought
how mean he was. Oh shit.
I thought that they were like, I thought I was gonna get such a bad, thought I was gonna get like a bad, like, response to that when I was like, he should come back as an abusive husband, but everyone seemed to think it was just hilarious. Like,
It was.
I was like, well, I didn't want to offend anyone, like, by saying, he should just come back and Bree should be afraid of him all the time because in his months off, he's just been beating her ass at home, but, but, like, everyone thought it was funny, and I was like, well, okay, it should, I mean, I can't even think of the chick's name that I said it should be like, taking shots at her because she stopped watching because Floyd Mayweather is known for hitting women.
Michelle Beadle.
Yeah, Michelle Beadle. Yeah,
Fuck her.
she's an idiot.
She's fucking dumb. I saw the interview of hers with fucking Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, and she was kissing their asses for 20 fucking minutes, right? And
Right.
she was like, wrestling is so phenomenal. It's a part of my life. And then as soon as she hears that shit, which isn't even that tragic, you know, she goes like, oh, I'm never gonna watch wrestling again. Like, as if we cared. Fuck off.
That's like going, well, George Bush bombed Pearl Harbor. This is just like me being stupid. George Bush bombed Pearl Harbor, and Obama's the president now, so that means he supports the decision.
Yeah,
Like, you're
totally
gonna
gonna leave the US.
you're gonna stop watching wrestling because Triple H associates himself from time to time with Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd Mayweather beats his wife. What sense does that make? That, I mean, it's not like Triple H is beating Stephanie. It's,
Don't give WWE angles to work with.
I swear they're already doing it. I feel like they steal shit off of people's pages all the time. So,
You know what you have to type in on YouTube if you want to be fucking shocked?
what?
I saw a series of videos. I think it was called storylines that were supposed to happen. Good fucking God Almighty, there was some fucked up shit. They actually wanted to say, when Stephanie was pregnant the first time, they wanted to build an angle that says that Vince is the father of the child.
What?
I swear to fucking God, that was Vince's master plan.
That's okay. I guess incest is cool, but
Yeah, and I don't forget Katie Vick. I won't forget that.
necrophilia.
But it was kind of fucking funny just to see Triple H with the mask,
Right.
and the shit he said was so fucking funny. I'm I'm gonna bang your brains out.
Yeah, that angle was funny as hell. But like,
I
then
died.
there's Mae Young giving birth to the Hand.
Uh, Oh shit! Or when she slept with Mark Henry.
which led to it. That's what led to the
Yeah.
hand being born. That's just disturbing.
Dear Lord.
Let's not forget the world's largest love machine or whatever,
Viscera.
Viscera. Yeah,
Yep. Val Venus. I won't forget Val Venus.
when they cut his dick off.
I
Choppy, choppy,
choppy
your pee
choppy
pee.
your pee pee. I don't even remember who said this.
I
Was
can't
some
remember the game.
Japanese guy.
Yeah. Then there was that. I mean, this wasn't an angle or anything, but there was that time that Val Venus walked into the bathroom. You know, they were like peeing next to each other, him and Big Show, and he goes, and they call you the Big Show.
Yep, I remember.
Yeah, they done tons of weird shit. So I
Or
guess
when Big Show took a shit and then Eddie
Eddie
Guerrero
Guerrero.
fucking
Yeah,
busted the door.
yeah.
Yep.
There's when DX dropped shit on the Spirit Squad and Vince, or I think it was the Spirit Squad, Vince and Shane or something like that.
Yep. It was all of them.
Yeah, and he goes, yeah, and just because Sean's out here, it is holy shit. I'll never
or
forget that line.
or remember when Vince wanted Sean to do the piss test, and then Sean said it's better to be pissed off than pissed on, and he took his piss, and and it went straight across Vince's face, and it's the face he made after. What I'll never forget it. Some of the funniest faces I've ever seen were by Vince McMahon, bar none.
Yeah, I kind of wish Vince would stay on TV more because he's a better heel. I feel like
Yep.
than like from the authority role of things. I feel he's a better heel than Stephanie and Triple H.
I need asshole Vince back. Definitely.
Yeah, it he's Vince is one of the top heels of all time for me.
Yep. Easily. Easily.
Yeah, he's done some pretty entertaining shit.
By the way, remember Vince's middle finger?
Yeah.
The most crooked, fucked up middle finger I've ever seen. Oh shit.
Oh man, Vince is great though. Like people always, they bash him now, but it's like we wouldn't be where we are today without Vince. So
Mm.
kind of like how people bash Hogan, and I mean, yeah, he kind of. I don't want to say deserves to be bashed, but like,
You could understand why.
yeah, but I mean, Hogan kind of saved wrestling. Like it wouldn't be what it is
Well, definitely.
today.
He propelled wrestling to the heights that it has been at, back then. I
Right.
mean, wrestling wouldn't be shit without Hogan.
And we wouldn't have gotten some of the Attitude Era probably doesn't happen without Hogan because imagine if he would have never came back and he would have continued acting if he didn't go to WCW.
Hmm.
The NWO wouldn't have worked out as well because that's one of the biggest heel turns of all time.
Yeah. This term basically made the NWO. It would have
Right.
been just another group if it wasn't for Hogan being the third man to join.
Right. I mean, like imagine if it was like, oh man, Ultimate Warrior or something, or like if it was that's the way they introduced Big Show or some shit.
Hmm.
It. I mean, it would have just been like another group that wasn't as revolutionary because like, Ultimate Warrior was a big, a big guy, really popular, but he wasn't Hogan, who like,
Yep.
every child worshipped and wanted, you know, they wanted to be like Hulk Hogan.
And the crazy thing about Hogan's heel turn is it made so much sense if you think about it. Like the guy that told you to say your prayers and eat your vitamins just left, your company that you watch
Right.
for this other company, and now he's an asshole.
Right.
It just made perfect sense.
I mean, it wasn't even like he had just stopped wrestling and he was acting, and apparently I think it was Bischoff gave him a call or something, and he told him he'd think about it, and he missed wrestling, so he started wrestling for WCW. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the way you described it is pretty spot on. Like, the guy that you've looked up to, and the one of the main reasons you watched wrestling is now in this other company, and
And he's a dick and showing his true colors, you know?
right,
It was perfect.
it was done so perfectly. I mean, the NWO was pretty much bulletproof. It was like foolproof until they started letting too many people in. If
Yep.
they didn't let too many people in, and if Nash and Hogan didn't have all the power in their contracts, WCW probably would have won the Monday Night Wars.
I agree. And if it wasn't for a guy called Stone Cold Steve Austin, yeah,
But WCW had an equivalent to that. They had Goldberg, a bald
yep.
guy in black trunks that was kind of badass.
I kind of can see the similarities, but I think Stone Cold was actually better because it just it just made perfect sense. It was that era where people were tired of having that cookie clean, good boy shit, and then there comes this guy who 10 years ago would have been booed out of the building,
Right,
and he does some despicable shit, flips people off, and says some words he isn't supposed to, and people love it.
right. And he's not exactly a good guy, but he's not a bad guy either. He's like an anti-hero.
Exactly, and you could tell that this isn't a major act. That most of it is basically
Right,
him being him, and that's how I think the best characters work out. An
right.
extension of yourself, an amplified version of yourself.
Exactly. Like, I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, if Punk didn't start to do the pipe bombs and everything, he probably would have left a lot sooner. I mean, that's pretty obvious based on what he said in his DVD, which
Hmm.
I've brought up several times in this podcast. But that being beside the point, if he hadn't started doing that, no one would have been interested in him. But that character was just like an extension of himself. He was just being, he was being an asshole, which is what he truly is.
Yeah, you could really tell like this isn't. Although it was a work shoot,
Right,
you were still able to tell that some of the stuff he said really was stuff that bugged him, that he wanted
right.
to get out for so many years, and now he actually has the chance to.
And I'm trying to think of other people that have characters that are like just extensions of themselves. Jericho's character is,
Yup.
uh, I think Cena's kind of is now.
Hmm.
Um,
Sure as hell wasn't in the beginning.
no, not at all.
He even said it himself that
Yeah,
it was just a gimmick that he needed,
to
to
get him
get
over.
over.
Yeah, he didn't really enjoy. Like he, it was that gimmick was like everything that he hated, you know.
Yeah.
But he just used it to try to get over, and it worked really well.
Yep.
Hats off to Cena. Um,
Yeah, I mean, not everybody can make a white guy rapping week in and week out on wrestling TV work.
right,
I mean,
right. I mean,
sounds like an impossible task to me.
it even got to the point where he got his own CD out of it. I mean, that's
Yep. And some of
pretty
the
impressive.
best bars in the history of rap music.
You're like a proctologist. You're feeling my shit.
I brush your mouth like Colgate.
Oh, what's another one? Oh, there's so many. Oh, this one, like he has the first verse in a song, and he goes, after this verse, fast forward through the rest of the song, and it's like, okay, so you don't want us to listen to the other
Ah,
guys on the track?
that's bad, bad
Yeah,
man.
yeah. After I rock, fast forward through the rest of the song, like,
Uh,
but why?
Cena was epic.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Um, Want to wrap it up and do Money in the Bank predictions now?
Sure, why not?
All right, I'll let you go first because there, I'm sure, are some matches that I don't know about, as always.
Wait, I gotta look. I gotta look at a picture that has the whole card on it. There it is. So we have R-Truth versus King Barrett. I think I'm hoping for Barrett because he's actually the one, he won King of the Ring and he's still doing nothing,
Right.
So at least let him get a couple wins in to stay relevant. Otherwise, I don't know. If you continue having him be in matches that don't matter and stack win after win after win, who knows? He could use it to his advantage and say some shit like, the last 8 pay-per-views, I won all of them,
Right.
I don't know. I think he needs the victory more than R-Truth does, but I think R-Truth is gonna win.
Ugh. It's sad. Yeah.
That's my opinion on it. Then my piss break, Nikki Bella versus Paige.
Right.
Since I'm a Paige fan, and when I say fan, I mean I don't mind seeing her wrestle,
Right.
I'm hoping for Paige, but I'm fucking sure that they are going to let Nikki keep the title to surpass AJ Lee's reign, because she's affiliated with Punk and everything that is affiliated with Punk is bad.
Right.
So it makes sense on WWE's side to let her retain, and I don't care, to be honest. I don't know what else. Ryback defends his Intercontinental Championship versus Big Show. I don't know. Money in the Bank seems to be the pay-per-view where all people. I don't know. I'm really torn on a couple of matches, and a couple of them are blatantly obvious. For example, Ryback versus Big Show. If Big Show wins, and I'll swear to fucking God, if Big Show wins the title, I will become Ryder fan, and I will forget about Jericho. Swear to God, I'll post 1 week straight just Ryder shit, and I will never bash him again. Promise.
Wow, that sounds like the proposal I made if Neville wins Money in the Bank.
Which you never know. Shit might go down. That's one of the matches I'm actually really not sure about.
Right.
Because it's so obvious that Reigns is gonna win that on the other hand, it seems like they'd be clever enough, not to let him win.
Right.
Maybe they're just, getting us to believe like, oh, Reigns is gonna win for sure. And then who knows? Kingston might end up, with the briefcase. But I think Reigns is gonna win. But I'm hoping for Sheamus.
Yeah, me too, actually.
I think he needs it. The main event picture needs a straight up fucking heel because Seth Rollins isn't. Seth Rollins still gets that kind of mixed reaction.
Right.
And I believe that Sheamus really could get pure hatred out of people. I don't know. I don't want Ziggler to win. I would laugh my ass off if it was Kofi. I would shake my head and turn the pay-per-view off if it was Neville. And if it's Kane, I'll guess I'll have to find a new thing to watch,
Well, let's take it back to the last podcast when I said that they were going to do something stupid like put Kane in the match, and that's exactly what they did. So
yeah,
that's a clear indication
totally right.
That's a clear indication that they are listening to, they're listening to shit like this. So let's be careful with these predictions because there's a possibility I can get this uploaded before the pay-per-view. So.
Oh Jesus! And then they actually have Big Show win the title. Oh no! The tag team match, the New Day versus the Primetime Players. That's the only title change that I think is guaranteed.
Really?
Yep. I think the Primetime Players are going to win. First of all, because they've been they've been a tag team for so fucking long, and they never got to hold the tag team titles, right?
Right.
They've been booked pretty well up until now, and even in the chamber, they looked fucking, strong.
Right.
So, I don't know if there's one chance to actually crown Primetime Players as the tag champs, it's tonight, in my opinion. So I'm rooting for him. I want him to win, although I really love New Day.
Right. Yeah. Me too. I love New Day.
Mm-hmm. Especially Xavier Woods. Fucking awesome. The next match, Cena versus Owens. I'm hoping Cena, and I think it's going to be Cena. I don't think WWE would let him win, let him lose 2 pay-per-views straight against Owens. But I think that the finish will be screwy. That
Right.
Owens will get himself disqualified or some shit.
Right. Or like walk out of the match or something.
Exactly, that's my opinion. I think he's going to dominate in the beginning, and then Cena starts slowly turning it around, and then when he realizes, like, oh shit, I'm on the verge of losing, he'll disqualify himself.
Right.
The main event. Oh no, I'm so scared. Seth Rollins defends the WWE Heavyweight Championship of the world against fucking Dean Ambrose. You know who I'm going to pick, I think. Seth Rollins. And if Dean Ambrose wins, I won't be on Instagram tonight. Just like you.
Right. Yeah. I'll definitely just go to sleep after. My predictions. I found a picture too, so I'm gonna say New Day over Primetime Players, only because I don't like how they, I don't like a quick transfer of titles, and I feel like New Day just won, and that they should build up eventually Harper and Rowan versus New Day for the titles.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's what I'm shooting for on that. Um, Hopefully, I don't go to the bathroom and miss the entire match this time. Nikki Bella versus Paige. I'm hoping for Paige because, the Bellas are my least favorite thing ever, so I'm hoping that Paige walks away with the title, but most likely Nikki will.
Mm-hmm.
Ryback versus Big Show. I mean, that one's, like you said, it's pretty obvious. Ryback. B&B or King Barrett now versus R-Truth. I'm gonna say Barrett.
Alright.
Owens versus Cena. I mean, that one's obvious for me.
Cena.
Yeah, Cena obvious. Cena all day. And like you said, there might be some type of screwy finish, or who knows what happens. But I'm hoping that Cena comes out winning that one.
Mm-hmm.
The Money in the Bank match. I'm rooting for Sheamus. But I feel Reigns is, the obvious choice. And like I said, if Neville wins, I will post a Bella and Ziggler spam tomorrow.
Oh shit, we're putting it all on the line.
And the main event, Ambrose and Rollins. I'm torn for this. I don't know. I think that Ambrose has a chance of winning, only because if Reigns wins Money in the Bank, it ties into, the feud to the triple threat match, which eventually is going to happen.
Yep.
And you hear that? There's like an echo. I'm gonna say Rollins.
Rollins?
Yeah.
I hope so myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Rollins.
I'm gonna cry if it's Ambrose, to be honest.
Yeah, if it's Ambrose, I'm just gonna log off of Instagram and go to sleep because, like I said, not that I wouldn't support the idea of him winning, but I,
You just want it to happen. You just don't want it to happen, right?
I mean, only because of his fangirls.
Well, I don't want it to happen because, first of all, it's obvious who I'm a fan of, and
Right.
second of all, I think it's too early. If you wanna have Ambrose win the world title and actually have it mean something, I don't know, build it up more. You know,
Right.
have one of those things, just like Brian or fucking Austin, where they scratch and claw for like almost a year to actually, finally get that moment.
Right.
But I don't want it to be at Mania again because otherwise it starts, to get obvious that Mania is the event where the good guy will win.
Well, Vince likes the uh, good guy endings most of the time.
Yeah, I can understand why they're doing it, but if you want to propel another pay-per-view that hasn't been, as prestigious
Right.
as it used to be, have him win at fucking I don't know I don't know which pay per view we will have in February next year. Maybe Fastlane.
Who knows?
Maybe fucking the Elimination Chamber goes back to February. I
Yeah,
don't
who
know.
knows?
Or have him win it at Survivor Series. Survivor Series used to mean something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, any of those would be viable. Um, I guess that'll do it for this one, man.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure to have you on. Um, I feel the people didn't get cheated this time by me having to call the chiropractor, so.
Do you realize
uh,
we talked for 2 hours and 16 minutes?
Christ, no, I didn't. That's ridiculous.
I just saw it right now.
Wow. Um,
Didn't even feel like it.
Not at all. Still got to get to that one with as many members of the squad as we can,
Yep.
and like I said, just a pleasure to have you on, man. But that's gonna do it for this one.
Sure.